You're listening to
Social Distancing, a podcast produced by Olivet College
to remind you that no matter how far we are from each other,
we're all a part of the
Olivet College family.
Hello and welcome back to our Social Distancing podcast here at Olivet College. I'm Daine.
Yes, keeping it.
So welcome back to the Olivet College Social Distancing podcast. My name's Ryan Shockey. Today I'm with my co-host, Daine Pavlovski. Daine, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm Daine.
You're Daine. I'm Ryan. We have a guest on with us today. We'll introduce her here in a little bit, but let's make sure we get our names right. Ryan, Daine, Ryan. I think we're good. Are we good to go?
Macho Man Randy Shockey. Let's do it.
Here we go. Nice job, Dave. I appreciate it.
But this is, as Randy said, a social distancing podcast here at Olivet College. We want to thank everybody for joining us again. We have another great guest today. We want to thank everybody who has listened, and please spread the word, trying to keep the Olivet College family at least positive, talking about good stuff going on, and talking to important people in the Olivet College campus community. You somehow found your way to listen, so you probably know that it's available anywhere you can get your podcasts, on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, all those good places. Also on the Olivet College social media pages and the Olivet College YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us. If you haven't listened to the others, listen to this one and then go back and listen to the others, because we've got some great conversations with a lot of great Olivet College people. So we like to usually start off talking about a little good news. And Ryan, you got some good news?
Yeah, I've got some great news, Daine. If you're paying attention here, a week or two ago, Olivet College put out a press release from Dr. Corey. So if you take a look at the press release, Dr. Corey mentions in there that we're committed to doing everything we can to come back to a safe environment here. I'm excited to see our faculty, our staff, our students this fall as we come back. And to me, it's kind of one of those things that just will help get me through the summer, right? The carrot in front of us, just continue to dangle it. And it talks about all the hard work that's going in. I know Daine and our special guest have put in a lot of work with this too, and all of the committees and subcommittees that we're working on to make sure that if it is possible to come back as a campus, we will. We know that our students and our faculty and staff, we really thrive on those relationships. We love seeing people every day. That's why we're doing our podcast, right, Daine? So that way we can still talk to each other and get together. It always is a breath of fresh air for me when we get to see people. Daine, what do you think?
As you said, a lot of people are involved on our campus, both faculty, staff, student, all kinds of people in the fact-finding and figuring out what it will take to come back in the safest possible way for us, our community, and things like that. So I know a lot of people are doing a lot of very hard work, and I appreciate that effort to try to keep the good stuff Olivet College offers, to keep it really in the way that our mission says. So I think everybody's doing a lot of really good work. And again, to make sure that however we have to come back in the fall, we are doing it in the safest way possible for our campus community. So I appreciate all the work everybody's doing. So it is good news that people are, and I think for me, the important part is that so many people kind of are dropping this usual period of time, like post-commencement, where it seems to be kind of that everybody hasn't understood, like, let's take a little breather and, get ready to start things for the next fall, where now it's kind of everybody immediately dove into this really thick, heavy work to try to figure things out, because we obviously want to do it in a timely manner. So like we said, like the statement says, if you haven't seen it, it's on the Olivet College website at olivetcollege.edu. So we'll keep you posted on here about that, but also you can always have the latest at olivetcollege.edu.
over the past few weeks, Olivet College celebrated students through Honors Week, comprised of social media highlights and individual awards presented through Zoom sessions. View the full list of 2020 awards and the recipients from all academic departments, the Office of Student Engagement, and the Office of Multicultural Education at www.olivetcollege.edu/news and features.
In case you missed it, check out the Olivet College YouTube channel to watch the baccalaureate and graduation celebration videos that premiered on graduation weekend. Videos featured remarks from students, college leaders, and other special speakers. Congratulations, class of 2020.
We have a guest today that, to me, is, again, and I've said this a couple times with guests, but it is especially true here, is the epitome of Olivet. It's what I picture. And I don't want to put her on the spot anyway, but she is currently the associate professor of English, but I feel like her titles don't really, well, and she has a lot of impressive titles, don't do her justice even there. But she's done so much for faculty and the college through different special projects, even the faculty marshal at different events. I think, to me, the major part that I really appreciate about our guest today is she is such an ally to students on our campus and student athletes, especially through advising and holding people accountable and letting people see what they truly are capable of. And I think that's a big part of Olivet College. One of my favorite parts is how many people are not even her advisee, but she helps anybody. It doesn't matter what your major is, what team you're on, what your program is. She finds a way to help. She's very involved with the church in town, up on campus, actually. She's also on her second run as the mayor of Olivet. And has been a city council member previously, mother of 5 that have attended various MIAA schools and otherwise, and the second mother to a lot of new faculty. I count the Pavlovskis as 2 of those people. She is our Olivet mom. And our guest today, a huge part of Olivet College history and all kinds of things, Laura Barlond-Maas. Hey, we're clapping for you, Laura. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, Laura.
Morning. I'm very glad to be here.
You know what I always think is cool about you, Laura? When you walk into a small town and you have somebody and, you know, they kind of jokingly say, well, have you met Daine? He's essentially the mayor of Olivet. You know, he knows everybody and that's literally you, right? I mean, you've worked at the college for a while and you have this great career there and you're the mayor of Olivet. I mean, you know everybody, you're doing things, you're got so many different hats you're wearing, and it's like the literal sense, right? You always hear people joke about it. Well, that's so-and-so, they're the mayor, but you really are the mayor. We're really happy and proud of all the things that you do, not only for the college, but for the great city of Olivet. So thank you for joining us today. I'm excited. It should be a good one. And we'll get started with Daine's questions.
I found, I don't know if it was the most recent or before, but one of your Mayor Corner entries on the City of Olivet website. In it, you write, in every area of my life, this is what I try to do. Improve systems to make them better for people and help people learn what it takes to be better, whatever that means to each of them. What does that look like, both in your roles at Olivet College and as a mayor, and kind of where did that come from for you?
That's my mission. That is who I am. And students have said to me, you know, I hate when you say that, Laura, because it just makes me want to cry. I think that whoever we are and wherever we are in life, not that we're bad where we are, but we can always be better. Even if we're up here, we can be better. But if we're down here, we can also be better. We can just, and my role in life is to do that. I think that Linda Scott, my professor, did that for me. And so that's why I work with, you know, I loved that you said that I help show people what they're really capable of. And that's what that is. You know, I've got students who graduated who really didn't think they would. I got a wonderful thank you note from a guy who said, yeah, there was no way this was going to happen to me. And I had no idea I had that impact on him, except when he ran in my office every once in a while and would say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need another class. And help him find one. But other than that, I had no idea my impact. So I just, whatever you are, whoever you are, I want everybody to be better, whatever that means.
So I guess we should start a little bit at the beginning. How did you ever come to Olivet originally? How did you end up in the town? But how did you end up here and kind of what made you stay?
I tell this story a lot, parts of it, but I'll give you kind of, because of your question, there's a little bit longer. I was born to the youngest of 6 kids on a farm outside of Olivet. My parents went to Olivet High School. My grandmother actually worked at the KC peeling potatoes.
Really? I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's weird. And so when I was 8, we moved to Marshall. But when I was here, we would drive past the Mott building when it was new, or they were building it. And my mother would say, when you grow up, you're going to go to Olivet College so I can keep an eye on you. So of course, when I was in high school, absolutely not. That was my friend got here and I thought, what are you doing? But anyway, I went to Western, where everyone else in my family went, and it was an absolute disaster because my first class had 400 people.
That's so many.
Yes, they posted my test grades at the professor's office with my social security number. That's illegal now, but it was a while ago. So I left school after 3 semesters, and no one there missed me. And I waitressed for 2 years. And that was when I learned that I didn't want to do that forever, and I wanted to go back to school and be a teacher. Because my goal at the time was to prevent kids from dropping out of high school. I ended up coming to Olivet kind of on a fluke. And immediately when I walked in August, because, I was late, my admissions person was so kind. And he actually is Ron Thatcher. He was a graduate of Olivet College from a few decades before that. I was a non-trad, so I went to my non-trad meeting just before classes started, and the professor played the violin one night a week at Schuler's, where I was a waitress. So it was just, lots of things all coming together at once, and she loved me. She had me to her house for sweet potato pie her husband made over break because she didn't want me to be here by myself, had classes over for dinner. She invited me. And that's what Olivet did for me. It invited me. My dad was really mad I came here, and because I didn't go to school at Western or a big school like everyone else. I never do everything the way everyone else does. And so he came to Parents' Day. My parents did, because they're traditional. And Linda Scott was there, my professor, and she found us a course, and she said, come to my office, I'll make you tea. And they did. And my dad was so mad. He immediately started with, why would my daughter go here? That's how he was, a little abrasive. And I stood outside the office, and in 15 minutes, she had him convinced that this was the best place for me ever. And so I have stayed. After I graduated from college, I was married to Bill, and we had Jessica in July. I graduated in May. Jessica was born in July. And then in August, I started my first job at the college as the part-time secretary in career planning and placement. And I worked with a nurse for a bit in health services, and then became an adjunct professor. So I've been a professor since 1990.
So many of the things in that story are so Olivet. Like the professor having you over for sweet potato pie and dinner and thing, different things like that story exactly. And it's cool how that all that tradition kind of continues. And I think people like you who pick up that mantle and bring it on and have students over for dinner, and I know the English department, when they come over, is always a huge thing that all the students get excited about. Thank you for everything you do for all of that, because it's helped me a whole lot since all this started.
It's my pleasure.
You can explore campus on a virtual tour, learn about the admissions process, and talk through financial aid with the expert admissions team during an OC Nation live virtual event every week, Tuesday through Thursday. Decision time for high school students is here, and Olivet College is excited to welcome you to the Comet family. Learn more and register now by contacting the Office of Admissions at 800-456-7189 or admissions@olivetcollege.edu.
So at the beginning of the segment, we shared some good news. We always like to ask our guests any good news that they have seen, or anything that's got them kind of feeling good and warm lately with everything going on. And so have you seen any good news? What's going on in Olivet community? What kind of good news would you have to share with us?
Well, my good news is actually more related to the honors week that we had recently at the college. Yeah. I was fortunate to be at a couple of the awards events, and when the Morris Awards are given, students are able to say why they chose this particular professor as impactful. And I really enjoyed listening to what people said. Daine was there, Jeremy was there, Katy Perry and Jackie Lozier. And the things that the students said about those professors who made a big difference for them was just wonderful. And I actually started to cry about what Nicole was saying about Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And I had to speak in a minute. So I was trying to get it together before that happened. But, it was just really heartwarming to hear what people had to say about each other. To me, that was good news. I made a list of people I have to write notes to because they weren't there for me to hug them after honors convocation. The community is quiet. The best news right now I have is that Tim's Pizza delivers. So we try to order from them every week. The kids are here to try to support them. They have a big thank you sign in their window.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Recognize that the community is really making efforts to do that.
Are there any new hobbies that you've picked up during this time with some of your extra free time, or have maybe you picked up old hobbies? Yeah, free time, right? Adorable. Or have you picked up old hobbies, things that you just haven't done in a while that you've started doing again to pass some of the time?
My new hobby seems to be Zoom.
Yeah, I second that.
Yes. And today I get to learn how to record myself on video and put a video in a Dropbox. See, that's my new hobby is learning new things every day because I'm doing the sermon for church on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not meeting, obviously. My sermon is about how Jesus said that we should go off by ourselves and pray. We should not be trying to get back together.
I'm so proud that you're going to record a video and Dropbox. You've come a long way.
Well, I might call you.
That's what I was going to say.
You're my backup in case, I mess up, which is quite likely. But Doug did show me how to open it on my screen. And so now I've just got it. I don't really want my china cupboard and things behind me. So I'm probably going to go into a classroom and do it in there.
That's a good idea.
You lost me at Dropbox.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
There's lots of options.
I hope they send me the directions.
I'm sure somebody can help you out. I can if you need. How would you describe Olivet College to people that aren't familiar? And how would you describe Olivet, the town, to people that aren't familiar with it?
Olivet College is a place where you can change your life. And that's what I tell people all the time. Not that your life necessarily needs to be changed. Now, you might not think it needs to be changed, but you get here and you realize the possibilities. It's like the people who change majors. I had a student who came to me end of her sophomore year and she said, yeah, I really want to be an English major and it's too late, isn't it? We sat down and worked it out and she graduated in 2 more years. She was here just the 4. Her dad was relieved. And she had kind of, I was a business major first, and for a while I was in dietetics, and then I came to Olivet and realized who I was. But I think at Olivet College you figure out who you are and figure out how to be the person you want to become. Olivet College is connections. It is having people in your corner, to use Javier Smith's words, to have people in your corner and on your side. To always have backup. And you can do anything. That's the other thing I tell people. I was a cheerleader at Olivet College for football. I was almost on the swim team. I was on a couple of groups I can't even necessarily remember the names of, but at Olivet you can do anything. People think it's a small school, there's nothing to do there, but actually there's so much to do here. I think that the town has a wide variety of people. We're not all alike. When I started working here and when I was in school, actually, when I was hired full time, it's in my contract that I have to live within 15 miles of Olivet. I live 1,500 feet from Olivet. So I think we're good, but we don't do that anymore. So when I was here, I know people who did not go to Olivet College, but they grew up with the Fleming kids, or the Payway kids, or whoever it was. And now we don't have that as much, although we still have people who bring their kids here to go to school because it's handy. and I speak from my own experience, it's handy to work where your kids go to school. Olivet has a wide range of people. Sometimes people think, oh, they're just all small town. Well, I don't know what that means, because we have people who are, there's a pretty intellectual book club in town that I would not want to go to because it would scare me. And there's also, you know, the ball games. That's one thing that's a problem this year, I think, is there's not the ball clubs. I have so many kids. One summer we had a ball game all 4 nights of the week, a double header. So I just packed a picnic basket, took it down because it's right by my house, and sat there. We ate dinner while the one kid was playing, and then the next night we do it for the other kid. I got really good at packing a picnic that summer. And we used to do that for Jake's soccer games at the high school too. So, but it's very much community, because like actually with the picnic baskets downtown, other families got used to seeing me, and like their kids would be really hungry, and they'd like move over by me, you know, and I'm like, hey, you want a half a sandwich? You know, so I just would pack more so I could say, hey, you want something, and give it away. I love feeding people.
And that's as a community member now, which was important to Aaron and I when I got the gig, that we had said we really want to live in Olivet, and we were in Okemos at the time and looked at some places in Charlotte and a couple in Marshall, and we wanted to be in town, and it worked out well. But as many know, we go to city council meetings every month, and Aaron's on the planning board or the planning commission, and we try to be involved even though we're kind of young, because we like to know what's going on. And I can't say enough about even just the city council crew, how nice and welcoming they've all been, and how even when we see Steve out walking, or we see Joe Hofdahl, we walk by his house, they always say, oh, hey, how's it going? How are you guys doing? Everything okay? What can we do? Things like that. And it's a really cool community, and something that and even the surrounding communities, especially Marshall, we just never went there when we were at school. We always went to Charlotte, and there's just so much around here that we had no idea even existed as students.
Connect with the admissions team during a virtual one-on-one session via Zoom. High school seniors and parents can meet with their admissions rep to cover individual questions for a personalized visit experience. Learn more and register now by emailing admissions@olivetcollege.edu. That's admissions@olivetcollege.edu.
In your introduction, Daine had talked about this isn't your first stint as mayor, but you also are not serving back-to-back. Well, no, I guess we did have another election, didn't we? So you are on back-to-back on this stint. What made you want to come back to reserve as the mayor of Olivet?
In 1997, I was elected to the city council. Then my mayor at the time, Mike Judd, decided to not be mayor anymore. So I ran in his place and won. So I served 2 terms as mayor. Mm-hmm. And then I was not mayor for 12 years. So then, yes, I came back. The man who was mayor in between said he wanted to step down. And he said, there's some problems in town, Laura, and you're the only person who can fix them. What do you say to that?
It's a tall task.
Yeah.
Right. And so I went to the next city council meeting and decided I would do it. And so I put my hat in, and then I went to all the council meetings for 6 months so I could know what was going on. I got all the minutes, all of that. So, but then, yes, my clerk has decided I'm going to run for mayor until 2030.
I'm into that.
That's when she retires.
I support that idea.
Yeah. We'll see. I like being mayor quite a lot because I like being welcoming. Actually, the city attorney said to me a little while ago, we were talking about a particular thing going on in town. And he goes, well, I mean, who can just walk in City Hall and just sit down and talk to the mayor? I mean, what is this person thinking? And I said, anybody who walks into City Hall and has to talk to me, they can sit down and talk to me. He goes, people can just talk to you? Yes. And I get out my little red book and I write down what they say. And if I can help, I do. Sometimes I can't. I like solving problems. I love solving problems. I really am an optimist, but I'm also, Jaquan Short will tell you, I am realistic. Says that about me all the time. So that I like to know what is the issue, even if it's a tough issue. I want to know what it is, because then I can start to be creative to solve it. I love solving problems. In some ways, the pandemic, I hate it, obviously. Don't want anybody to think I love it. But I love that now we're coming together and we have to solve these problems. You know, Ryan, I'm on a committee with you. I've never been on a committee with you.
Well, and you mentioned not loving the pandemic, but you're absolutely right. This has given us an opportunity to work with so many people across the college in a common goal way. We all have the same common goal, and it's great to work with people and see that we have a commonality that we might not always think we have, even though we do, right? That's just human nature. We have more in common than we'll ever realize. But you're exactly right. This has presented us with an opportunity to come together and solve problems, good problems, right? How do we come back to a community? I think there are probably students out there who would never believe that they would say they miss Olivet College.
Oh, yeah. Some of them have said that to me.
Yep.
I had a guy who said, oh, I'm really excited about my summer class. And I said, when was the last time you were excited to start a class? And he's like, oh, I have no idea. But he's really excited to be doing something.
So what kind of special or encouraging words, advice, something, pep talk, whatever it is, would you share with Olivet College students especially, or faculty, alumni, whoever might listen to this, or even members of the Olivet community?
If you're in a space where you're not super happy with where you are, which I think most of us would agree with at the moment, I think you need to look and see what can you learn from this and how can you grow during it, and how you want to be when you come out on the other side, because we will come out on the other side. Right now, we also have to be present for ourselves and think about, okay, what am I doing? What do I want to be doing? Because yes, I could wallow on the couch and eat ice cream all day, but what else could I be doing that would make me happy? You know, acknowledging who you are and who you want to become, who you are becoming, and then taking a step. Every day, take a step, and you'll be better at the end of it. And that's what I'm hoping, is that we'll all be better at the end of it. Olivet College will be better at the end of it, because our community, I think, is actually solidifying further. And I think that's great. But then I think each of us individually, you know, I'm learning all I can about remote education right now, just in case.
Yep.
I like to be prepared. So we're all learning things, and that's really what we're here for.
Perfect and wonderful. Laura, I want to start by saying thank you so much for being our guest. Thank you so much for not only everything you've done for the community, but everything you're still doing, all the work you put in. And again, selfishly, as a new faculty member trying to figure things out, I appreciate all the help and the mentoring you've done throughout the first couple of years. And I know Aaron appreciates it as well. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining us today. As a reminder to everybody, you can find us anywhere you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Pocket Cast. Really, anywhere you get your podcast, you can find Social Distancing. And if you want to be a part of the show, please do. If you have any questions you want us to ask, if you have somebody you want to be on the show, if you want to be on the show, please reach out to Ryan or myself. You can get me through email at dpavlovski@olivetcollege.edu. That is dpavlovski@olivetcollege.edu. Ryan, what are you?
I am Shockey at olivetcollege.edu. RSHOCKEY
Nailed it. Laura, if students, if alum, if townspeople want to get in touch with you, how should they do that?
Probably the easiest way is to email me at work at the college at lmaas, so it's LMAAS @olivetcollege.edu, or they can call City Hall. and Amy will field that for me.
So thank you to Laura. Thank you for Ryan. Ryan, do you have any thank yous you want to throw out?
Yeah, big thank you to Laura. Laura, it was great to have you today. See you so much on campus, but get to know you a little bit better. We'll have to continue to have conversations and dig into this a little bit more. You're so inspiring and you do so much for all of our students. We really appreciate it. And just to thank you not only for today, but for your years of service. Like you said, I think you impact more people than you realize. So thank you and keep up the great work. Daine, thank you for doing all the editing and the production behind all of this. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. So a big thank you to Daine. Thank you to all of our students. You know, we've sent off a great class of graduating seniors. We're loading up for summer school now. So hopefully they're staying in it and they're getting ready for next year. A big thank you. We have, every time we graduate students, Daine, we get to bring new students in, right? So a big thank you to the upcoming class, the high school class of 2020, the college class of 2024. Oh, that sounds weird to say. They'll be joining us in the fall. So thank you to those of you who have made that commitment. We're excited to see you and meet you and impact your lives in ways that only Olivet College will. And a big thank you to the Olivet College administration, marketing team, and the essential workers out there. I don't want us to forget about the essential workers. I think as this begins to wind down, hopefully people don't just move on to the next thing, right? We still continue to take care of all of those who will have long-lasting effects of working so many hours and days and giving so much to this pandemic. So big thank you to them.
And I'll do my usual thank you to the people who helped with the intro and the outro. That's Aaron Gowdy, Keon Durite, Rainey, Asher Wertheimer, Travis Garner, and also Aaron Pavlovski, and the outro by Jackson Patton. Thank you to those students and my lovely wife. So thank you to everybody for listening. Hopefully this helped bring a little light to your day, because it sure does for us every time. Thank you again, Laura. Thank you, Ryan. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears open for the next episode of Social Distancing. And until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and go Comets.
Go Comets.
Thanks for listening to Social Distancing. Don't forget to subscribe and be on the lookout for more content.